episode of Rink-Side with Hits and Clips. In this episode, I'm going to be just recapping what's recently been going on in the standings in the wild card for the NHL. We've been covering a lot based on OJHL, PJHL, CHL, AHL, and now we just want to give a update on what's been going on within the NHL and how close the race for the wild card spots have been. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference, and I'm sure there's a lot of people wanting to tune into this one, or at least curious as to know what the update for this particular episode is going to be about. Because right now, we have the Florida Panthers sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference, 2 points ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs, with the Tampa Bay Lightning not trailing too far behind with 85 points just underneath the Leafs. Where in the Metropolitan Division, we have the Washington Capitals, who have hit 102 points, and they are sitting at the top of the Metropolitan, and not only the Metropolitan, they're sitting at the top of the league with also the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to get to the Jets shortly, but I'm sure a lot of people are curiously tuning into the Washington Capitals a little bit closer than expected because of Alex Ovechkin trying to break history over Wayne Gretzky's record. And then just below the Washington Capitals for that second spot, we have the Carolina Hurricanes sitting at 90 points, and then the New Jersey Devils sitting at 10 points below them at 80. So overall, with the Florida Panthers sitting at 89 points, I think we can pretty much safely say that the first and second spots for both the Atlantic and the Metropolitan divisions are pretty set and secure for those four clubs. As for the wild card spot, it's getting quite tight, not just in the first spot where the Ottawa Senators currently sit at 79 points, but the Montreal Canadiens are holding on to that second spot at 75 points, with the New York Rangers, New York Islanders, Columbus Blue Jackets, Detroit Red Wings, Boston Bruins, and even the Pittsburgh Penguins sitting not too far behind. Now, with the Winnipeg Jets' most recent loss, they haven't been able to clinch that playoff spot in the Western Conference yet, but with one more win, they will be able to do so, as they currently sit at 100 points. Just below them, it's the Dallas Stars sitting at 92 points, followed by the Colorado Avalanche at 89 points. And then in the Pacific Division, we got the Vegas Golden Knights sitting at 92 points. The Los Angeles Kings have now tied the Edmonton Oilers, sitting and passing them for that second spot, both sitting at 87 points, where the Edmonton Oilers trail just behind them. In that wild card spot for the Western Conference, the Minnesota Wild sit in first place with 85 points, and the St. Louis Blues not trailing too far behind now with 81. Well, that wild card spot was very close by a point for all the clubs right below them, but it looks like the Calgary Flames, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Utah Hockey Club have a little bit of work to do, as they are falling a little bit behind of the St. Louis Blues now, with the Blues not only winning their most recent games, they're on a 6-game winning streak, not to mention. So it doesn't look like the St. Louis Blues are going to be stopping anytime soon. And with the Vancouver Canucks defeating the New Jersey Devils tonight, they jump past the Calgary Flames, as they are just 1 point ahead of Calgary. But the fight is not over, because you still have Utah and Calgary and St. Louis all in the fight still. So we'll have to see what happens, but that's a big 2 points for the Vancouver Canucks as they defeat the New Jersey Devils in a shootout. Now, just below the Utah Hockey Club, we have the Anaheim Ducks, who are not too far behind Utah, but it's going to be pretty hard to catch up to not just Utah, but a lot of those other opponents above them, as Utah is hoping to capture their first ever playoff appearance since relocating from Arizona. Just below Anaheim, we have the Seattle Kraken sitting at 65 points, followed by the Nashville Predators, and it's official, the Chicago Blackhawks and the San Jose Sharks have both been eliminated from the playoff contention race. So if we're looking at the overall picture of who's not making the playoffs this year, I think we can roughly mark out and eliminate the Nashville Predators and the Buffalo Sabres next, as they currently are both sitting at 60 and 62 points overall. And as mentioned, the Winnipeg Jets will clinch that next playoff appearance, the first one in the Western Conference, once they get their first win, and then we will be off to the races to see who will start claiming more playoff spots. We're just under a month away from the end of the regular season for the NHL. Different hockey leagues tend to run on a different schedule where, as mentioned, the OJHL and the PJHL, they're almost at the finals. The CHL playoffs are just about to get underway at the end of this week, where the NHL, not too long, and it's going to be the start of the playoffs for the trip and the road to the Stanley Cup. So just wanted to do a quick recap on the current standings for the National Hockey League. Let me know your thoughts and your opinion on who you think is going to claim that next wildcard spot, or who you even think is going to even make the playoffs for that matter, considering that we have multiple teams fighting for that last playoff spot in the wildcard chase. So thanks everyone for tuning into our channel. Really appreciate it. Make sure you go hit subscribe and like any videos that you see up on our YouTube channel, as well as go give us a follow over on our Spotify and Bluesky account if you find yourselves over there at all. Thanks everyone, and we will talk to you again soon.